I'm very happy and very delighted to introduce André Nonguierma. André is my mentor and my godfather in the geospatial community. So André, thank you very much for being with us today. André is currently the chief of the Geospatial Information Section at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, where he oversees the ECA's work in advancing holistic geospatial information management strategies and governance, and providing assistance to African countries and regional entities in the development and implementation of spatial information infrastructures. So André brings more than 30 years of professional experience in the field of geospatial science and technology. His professional journey is highly focused on leveraging geospatial data, information, and analytics to support strategic decision-making and evidence-based policies analyses across a range of applications from the private sector, public sector, to academia. And André, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, Fernand, and very much thank you for the nice introduction. Dear colleagues and friends, good day to each and everyone. I first of all want to thank the organizer of this event for the opportunity to have this dialogue and engage with the audience today. I think it might seem somewhat a little bit odd after listening to the various brilliant and technically robust presentation, because I wanted to remind all of us about the AFREF program initiative. And I know that for some of us, there might be some kind of AFREF fatigue after several years of effort, but also know that there are always new actors that are joining our community every day, and they still need to be updated and keep being cognizant of this flagship program of Africa. So my remarks will primarily address and focus on the policy dimension of this initiative, which I believe are still pertinent to our discussion of today, because my sense is that, as you know, policymakers are always critical to the implementation of technical activities, simply because they provide some of the essential link between the policy design and the practical execution we are making on the ground, and their involvement might help us translate some of the policy goals into actionable technical requirements and services that might be of use for the larger community. So next slide, those are my outline. And of course, the AFREF program is very simple, because it's a scientific project which aim to use modern satellite-based positioning system to define a uniform geodetic reference frame for Africa, and to establish a continent-wide network of GNSS-based stations. And I was listening with a particular interest to Dr. Jonah Olu presentations, and I believe there might be opportunity and room to further engage on this interesting initiative of Tonga, and also to facilitate some of the support scientific research in satellite geodesy. Next slide, please. The main objective of AFREF, as we may all know, is to, first of all, establish our continental reference framework. And it has been said several times that it should be aligned with the ITRF global framework. Is to also deploy a network of permanent GNSS infrastructure in Africa. We have a different point of view on what is currently available in the continent and what is currently operating, functioning, and with accessible data for the community of users. And of course, we want at the end of the day to build a unified vertical data and geoid for the African continent with an harmonized system of coordinate and of course capacity, the human capacity, individual capacity, but also the institutional and infrastructural capability to be able to operate modern geodetic systems in Africa. Next slide, please. If I summarize it, just what I have just said in 2 points, I might say that the main key feature of AFREF is to have a continental network of permanent GNSS base stations that are fully available in terms of data to any users in this continent. At least one station per country at the beginning, and covering or ensuring that we have a coverage that any users are within a radius of, we said at some point, 500 kilometers of a base station. But I'm happy to learn or to hear from South Africa that even such a distance can be reduced and constrained to less than the 100 kilometers. And we want a standardized geodetic reference frame, which is fully aligned with what is happening at the international and global level, and use it as a foundation for our national three-dimensional geodetic network. Next slide, please. AFREF went through several processes, and as you can see in this slide, he has a long-standing institutional acceptances. First of all, from the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, ECA, through some of the mechanisms he has set up from the last 20 years, spanning from what we call the Committee on Development, Information, Science and Technology to currently the United Nations Global Geospatial Information Management Initiative for Africa. It has been also supported by the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, which played a critical role in various occasions of helping AFREF to move on. It has also an international acceptance from the International Association of Geodesy, from the IGS as today, and from various initiative networks program like the FIG and the UNAFCO. So it means that at the global level, we all recognize the need and the importance of setting up this kind of program. Next slide, please. And the next slide. This is a transition slide. If we look at the progress timeline of AFREF, of course, it started in the 80s, if I may say like that, when the African Doppler survey project has been initiated, but due to some of the technological challenges at this time, the objectives were not fully met. And you can see that several actors, several events, several mechanisms helped the program slowly move from the concept stage and a call to leverage advancement in global positioning technology to the call in the early 2000 to establish the AFREF program. And then what I wanted us to look at is the last slide on the the last point of getting there. From 2010 to 2017, we made some very good progress on AFREF, and we went even further to develop the first computation of the program parameters, and to even adopt the first official static coordinate for AFREF. And we also went further to propose a program management structure, new structure, that could have been integrated with what exists at the continental level within the African Union mechanism, to get more political acceptance, as I said, because policymakers are very important for us to be able to get the support, not only the political support, but also the financial support to implement some of the technical activity. Next slide, please. And moving quickly, next slide. We have a current structure which is not very functional, because it was developed to coordinate, implement some of the activity with a disaggregation at sub-regional level, Northwest, Central, Eastern, and Southern Africa. But we can see, and we'll later on, that this structure wasn't very functional because of several reasons. And among some of the reasons is the national engagement to contribute, to collaborate and contribute to something more global, more continental. Next slide, please. And as you can see, we have a secretariat of AFREF, which ideally should be a joint mechanism between the African Union and the Economic Commission for Africa, but we can see that so far it hasn't really worked well because we don't have the same level of understanding at the institutional level, and also we don't have some of the resources that are required to ensure that this mechanism can fully work. Next slide, since we are running. Then in 2017, we had a discussion among some of the stakeholders to revamp the structure and propose something we hoped could work very well. One of them was to keep the joint secretariat between the African Union and the Economic Commission for Africa. And this joint secretariat should have reported to the African Minister of Science and on Science and Technology for the oversight, the monitoring, and the evaluation. But at the end of the day, yet once again, it didn't work very well as we wanted. We worked to include a AFREF working group within the UNGGM Africa mechanism. It worked for some times, but for the last 5 years, you can see with me that we haven't made that much progress because of the lack of real engagement from member states that are steering this working group. We also try to revitalize a kind of science and technology advisory group within the UNGGM Africa processes, but once again, we fell short in having them working in a very efficient and effective way. Next slide. And here you can see some of the organizational structure we were looking at, but I'm sorry to report or to say that those are nicely designed mechanisms on paper, but on the ground, of course, without the engagement I was talking about, without the resources I was talking about, then it is not functioning in a effective and efficient way. Next slide, please. And again, what I hear this afternoon at some point was encouraging, because I hear that we have over 250 course sessions across the continent. But yet, if we remove what is available in South Africa, less than 20 sessions are contributing to the AFREF network in reality. So it means that we still have some gaps, and we still have a long way to go in terms of filling this gap and also determining some of the optimum location. From the experience I have, most of the time is more about the infrastructure that are not there in terms of provision of power supply, and also in terms of provision of internet connectivity. And maybe it's very, very encouraging to hear about the Conga initiative of a new way of building and establishing some of the core sessions without need for electricity, without need for internet connection. But those are critical issues maybe we need to raise and to rediscuss during the discussion time. Next slide, please. Next slide. As I said, we did the first computation in 2014 in Tunisia, but what we notice is that we still have a spatial gaps in terms of data availability to do the computation. We have developed the model, the methodology, using different comparative methods, but at the end of the day, it was not possible for us to make it, to finalize it in a way that we can advise member states to adopt the guidelines that were produced at this time in 2014, I might say again, for their national computation. So we ended up leaving member states to their own situation, and some of them started, as we have heard from Uganda this afternoon, started developing their own mechanism for the computation. And then my hand up, returning back, we started in the 80s. Next slide, please. And next slide. So we have, following a meeting we had in October last year in Addis Ababa, agreed to revitalize the working group on AFREF within the UNGGM Africa processes. And the working group is now established. It's a matter of, I might say, sending out formal announcement from the executive board of UNGGM Africa. And we want to take things from where we left in 2017 and try to move forward. First of all, identify the gaps and continue to advocate, because if we have more than 250 stations across the entire continent, it means that we need to engage and dialogue with member states to release and put in place a open and restricted mechanism for access to GNSS data by all African countries, by all users. So this is our primary goals at this point in time. Next slide, please. Second, next slide. We want again to rebuild the community of scientists who helped perform the first computing in 2018, and redo the computation with new methods, new way of new methodology, new techniques, so that we develop a harmonized and standardized methodology to ensure that we have a more accurate computation of the transformation parameters. This is the second challenge the working group has put forward and want to start working on. And the last point, next slide, please, is the governance. Oh, sorry, come back to the previous slide. We say that unless we get the political buy-in, we'll have difficulty in implementing some of the technical activity on the ground. We have an ongoing action with the support of one country, we will say South Africa, to ensure that technical activity within the UNGGM Africa processes are ported to the African Union to get a kind of acceptance from our leaders at the head of state level. And from that, then we can easily secure the commitment of member states to participate, contribute, and integrate geodetic infrastructure within their day-to-day action and development planning. This is where we are, and we'll be engaging with all the stakeholders in the coming days and week to try and rejuvenate this flagship program I'm saying, because it's very important for all of us, for all African countries, and we need to do every effort we can to ensure that we reach the level where we want to be, having a unified and standardized geodetic reference frame for the African continent, aligned with what is happening in the global context, and ensuring that every country can embrace it in a more effective and meaningful way. So sorry for being a bit long, Fernand. Thank you, and over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Andre. Thank you. It's our honor and pleasure to have you today with us. And thank you for the historical side of AFREF and the way forward. Thank you very much. Camille.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm monitoring the chat. There is a very lively discussion happening in here. I think most of the questions are already answered by Aslam. I'm trying to see if anything else needs to be brought up. I know, Alison, you raised your hand. I think please feel free to start us off, I suppose.
Excellent. I'm at 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good. So the discussion revolves around AFREF and submitting stations to AFREF and or the IGS. There is, it seems, a desire to contribute, and everyone recognizes the importance of contributing, but still finds difficulty. Is there any, one of the questions, for example, that was very direct was, is there an existing procedure to submit station data to AFREF? And maybe this is a question both for Andre and for Aslam. It seems the user could use a very straightforward way to contribute to AFREF. I guess station operators in particular.
Chair, may I respond? At the moment, we don't have any mechanism where you can push data to the AFREF to the site. So you'll have to give an indication of where we can fetch it, and we will fetch it as arranged. So at the moment, there's no ability for external organizations to upload to that site. We are working on that, and we will communicate. But until then, we ask, I'll put it in the chat, the emails, you email us, and we will and inform us where we can fetch the data, and we'll do so from our side. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Aslam. So it seems that one of the prerequisites for AFREF right now would be that the data from those stations is already made public by the countries in question. Is that correct? And then AFREF would be able to pull that data.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.